box is when he drops the jack. He kept the jack up to the right rear tire changer, went around there and installed that lug nut.
I'm not sure that they even put a lug nut on. It looked like they just turned it almost like they snugged it up with their hands.
Now, if you look there, we kind of have a gold standard time that we've set. That's the right side, the jack, and the left side, the total of 13 seconds. You can see there 21.2 seconds. And right now, Matt, he is third, almost 9 seconds behind leader Jimmy Johnson.
And what they've been talking about on the 43 team is the fact that they were very lucky looking at the glasses half full. It happened under green versus under caution, so yes, they lost a lot of time to fourth place, but as things even out, if they had been under caution, they would have lost a lot of spots on pit road. So Allmendinger still definitely in it, running currently in the third spot, where he was before the spot he was running second.
About halfway between AJ and Jimmy Johnson is Kyle Busch, who came off that pit stop, now 4.3 seconds back of the race leader.
You know, Krista talked about our little 19-year-old, soon to be 20, Joey Logano, on that 20 car. Through the cycle of this long run, through the cycle of green flag pit stops, he has now moved into the 4th position behind AJ Allmendinger to 43.
School's over. You know, it's time to go to work.
One of his buddies won a race yesterday, Brandon McReynolds, part of the group of field fillers, they call themselves. Brandon won down at Rockingham on the mile. The day before, Chase Elliott, Bill's son, won a late model race at Rockingham, proving to be quite the playground of second-generation racers.
You know what's so amazing about that win for Brandon down there at Rockingham was about 18 years ago he went to victory lane there, but wrapped up in a baby's blanket to the tune of about 5 months old with Davey Allison.
Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon, Krista, they're running much like we left them a week ago at Darlington, chasing toward the front and in close contact with each other.
That's right, Mike, the Jeff and Jeff show. I want to talk about Jeff Gordon. I know a lot of folks are keeping tabs on him. The plan on that last stop was to free the car up a little bit. They made a wedge adjustment, but it might not have gone far enough because Jeff came on the radio and said 3 words, but they were all the same: plowing, plowing, plowing.
Well, and Jeff Gordon knows if that thing's plowing, that means it's abusing that right front tire. He knows you can't step across that line.
I heard that same thing last week.
Plowing.
NASCAR Sprint Cup racing on Fox, presented by Budweiser, sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need reliable shipping options. FedEx. By DirecTV. Other TV providers can claim what they want, but DirecTV has the most sports, period. And by Chevy. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Earlier today, Denny Hamlin presented with this check for $285,000 to his foundation. He was the winner in our DirecTV head-to-head knockout. $285 grand to his foundation and a donation to the charity of all the drivers that were in our bracket.
Plus all the folks back in Nashville. He's going to make a contribution to the Red Cross over there to help all the flood victims. I love that. Thank you very much.
We understand also that Tony Stewart and Clint Boyer are going to Nashville for some flood relief work.
Now, Mike, let's take a look at these green flag pit stops. The 2 laps, basically including the stop, that's the fastest for Kyle Busch, Greg Biffle, Jamie McMurray, and Clint Boyer. Look how much time it cost that 9 car and Casey Kane. Almost, 2 minutes and 5 seconds over that minute and 35 seconds. And the difference is now Casey Kane is 2 laps down.
Now here's AJ Allmendinger. Remember, he had a lug nut loose on the right rear. They hand tightened it, and because the nut was in contact with the wheel, he was legal to leave. Hopefully all the others were tight and he didn't have a vibration, but whatever the problem, Allmendinger, who had such a strong run,
4 tires and fuel,
and who challenged Jimmy Johnson for the lead, now he's going to fall way off the lead lap. Matt.
It's going to be a good effort here on the 43 guys over the wall. They're going to have a big recovery plan on their hands now as they go to work. AJ was reporting he had a vibration on the 43, Mike. Like you mentioned, the car
Turn 3, car in the wall, Matt. And the caution waves for the 47 of Marcus Ambrose, who got up into the wall between turns 3 and 4 and just pancaked the whole side of his Toyota.
Boy, what a break for Kevin Harvick, though, in that 29 car, who was just about to go a lap down.
I think the 43 wasn't so lucky, though. He was in the pit when the leader went by.
Ambrose in the 47 up the hill.
Right front.
Yep.
You just kind of know it when you see it. All that debris flying off the right side of the wall. Some of that's paint. Some of it's race car.
But you know, Darrell, back to the 43 car of A.J. Allmendinger. Right now he's showing 2 laps down. One thing we absolutely know he will do is stay out. So what he'll do, he should take the wave around and get one of those laps back, which will put him only 1 lap down. As good a car as he's got, that should let him stay up there in position to get that free pass should we get another caution.
I got to believe that right rear wheel, even though they let him go, they went back there. They didn't use a gun to tighten that nut up with. They just screwed it up with their fingers. I got to believe that was a vibration that brought him to pit road.
And quite a discussion in his pit because they thought they had beaten the pace car to the end of pit road. Now remember last week, Jeff Gordon was on pit road when a caution waved, but because he was back of the start finish line, he only needed to beat Jeff Burton to the start finish line to stay on the lead lap. In this case, AJ was pitted way down near the far end of pit road. He had to beat the leader or the caution car to the end of pit road.
All right, what I'm seeing, it looks like Casey Kane in the 9 car is doing exactly what I was talking about. They come in with the leaders. They have all the time in the world to try to get that shifter fixed right here.
Krista.
Tony Stewart is in. He said the problem all year has been they start strong, but they lose the handle. A small adjustment. Steve.
Jimmy Johnson says, free me up a little bit. I'm on the tight side. Jack Canal says, small air pressure adjustment. Matt?
Kyle Busch has an easy exit, no car in front. They were talking about pushing in a spring rubber in the rear, just no forward bite still. The car very loose. A tear off the windshield, hitting the left in the back, and he is now away.
It had not been that long since we had green flag pit stops. One car I noticed looks like went with 2 tires. Todd Parrott, Matt Kenseth in that 17 car.
24 pulled a spring rubber. That really held him up on pit road.
And Darrell, you were right. That right rear wheel was loose on Allmendinger's car. That's why he had to make that green flag pit stop. From the pits, you have to go to a central refueling station to get those dump cans refilled with Sunoco race fuel. So some fellas get a little creative.
Hurry right back.
Carl Edwards got the free pass on this, the second caution of the day. Green flag. Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, and Johnson takes off. It's Busch to fight with Joey Logano, his teammate, for second. Here comes Matt Kenseth and Jeff Burton in the top 5.
What a jump for Kenseth. What a great pit stop. I mean, he was outside the top 10. Here he is up there in the top 5 now.
But just remember what those guys did, went with 2 right side tires.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. did not get up to speed. He is 2 laps down and he's headed for pit road as Kyle Busch wants the lead.
He got that run on the high side through 3 and 4 where he's been so good. And while he's doing that, his teammate Joey Logano on that 20 car keeps inching into the picture.
All Dale Jr. said on the radio was something broke.
You know what? Looking at the Gibbs cars right now running first and third, Rick Hendrick said this past week, and I kind of snickered when he said it, that the Gibbs team had caught up with Hendrick Motorsports. And he said, as a matter of fact, they may have even passed us and lapped us. And certainly the sweep last weekend at Darlington, and here we are today looking pretty racy.
Here are your Toyota top performers of the race as Kyle Busch goes back out front. He's led 27 laps today. Trying to sort out Junior's problems under the hood.
But you know what, Kyle Busch, this is a typical, what if this was a green-white checker? Look where he would be. And the dominant car we know is a 48, but these restarts play right into his hands.
Well, that's what I'll be anxious to watch here as we get into this run. Should we stay green, how the 48 car has been so good versus the 18 on the long haul.
Now, 2 lead lap cars made lengthy pit stops under this caution. The 17 at Kenseth was not one of them. He took 2 tires. But Greg Biffle had a long stop and Jeff Gordon had a long stop for adjustments.
Yeah, he had been complaining about his car not turning, sliding the front rails. And Chris Devoto was telling me during commercial break, they went ahead with a lot of laps to go, over 200, and pulled 2 spring rubbers out of the left rear, softens that left rear spring, helps that car turns through the middle of the corner.
Well, this tire has a little wee bit less stagger than what we've had here in the past, which means that tightens the car up. So you've got to soften that left rear spring up to make the car work.
12th place, Denny Hamlin going after Kurt Busch. And Martin Truex Brad Keselowski looking on. 16 cars are on the lead lap.